just about live, look live. Hello, Facebook family. I forgot to get my microphone, but Grace, why don't you bring us on in?
Blessings. We're so excited that you're joining us this evening. Welcome, welcome as you're coming on. Love, like, and share, and let others know that you're on Facebook. It's our Monday night relationship talk, and we're excited to be with you on this evening. We had a lively discussion on last week and a lot of great participation. And we're looking forward to you participating tonight as well. We've got a great topic for you, and we want you to go ahead and love, like, and share. Post something so that others will know that you're on our relationship live conversation.
So, we're going to continue with our conversation from last week, but we want you all to, I know we're a little later tonight than last week, just a lot going on. I wanted to take some time to had another call earlier and just been busy. First Lady been out visiting. Normally Monday is our day off, but today we actually went out and visited and just been extremely busy.
Yes, yes. But we're committed. We're committed to you. We're committed to having this conversation. It's a much needed conversation. We're committed to couples growing deeper in their marriage relationship, and we're committing to bringing you resources so that you can have this information and be able to navigate through some of the challenges that come with being a couple and just living together and going through the seasons of life. And so we're excited. We're also excited in about 7 days.
Next week.
Yeah, next week we're going to be
Baby,
going on
I
our
don't think we've done
cruise.
our cruise paperwork yet. I think somebody need to get busy, honey.
Well, we're going to be joining other couples on our
Y'all notice First
cruise.
Lady didn't say nothing. We haven't done our paperwork for our cruise, and I said somebody needs to get busy. She didn't say one word, did she? Did y'all notice that?
Oh, we're going to be seeing you if you're signed up, if you've registered for the couples
We've paid
cruise.
for it. We just got to
Yes.
got to do our. I think and there's some paperwork you have to do to get all your tags and all that stuff set up.
Yeah, but I think we have time.
Okay, Grace, if you
Yeah.
say so.
So,
Somebody say 6 days to go and counting. We got quite a few. I'm excited about it. We got some couples coming. We got our winners from the cruise are going to be there for our cruise giveaway and the private island. Just we're gonna have dinner together. We got two groups that are going to be join. Oh, we're gonna have a ball, First Lady.
yes. So, again, if you're going, I'm sure this week you're packing, you're putting your outfits together. It's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to just relax and, be with your spouse and have, an opportunity just to do things together and not to mention the excursions that will be available to you when we dock on the island and our private renewal that we've got planned for you. Our coordinators, they're busy. They're busy. They're getting the finishing touches to our retreat, and we're just going to show up and we're going to have a great time.
So we are going to have a great discussion. Dr. Grace, I don't know if you have your phone, so you can just holler out to some of the folks that have connected with us. And I see a few myself. Ebony, always faithful, welcome. Bianca, Dr. Grace, I don't know if you got it on there, but we got Ashley. Welcome, Ashley. God bless you. Adair. Listen, y'all get the word out. Y'all start hitting those likes and shares and letting people know that we are on. I should not get interrupted tonight, Dr. Grace, because we got the repeater thing going, and I think we should have a good connection all night. Now, if it go bad tonight, y'all know the devil is trying to do something because I went out and made another investment, Dr. Grace, and got this repeater Wi-Fi thing, which is supposed to give me a good connection down here, even though the box is upstairs.
Well, there are a lot of technical technicalities that go with providing you great conversations every Monday evening. And we're growing. We are growing. I remember when we first started, we just had one camera. We had no background lighting. I mean, it was just one of them home video type
I think First Lady was trying
setup.
to say I'm dark, y'all. Cause see, most of
No,
this
I didn't say
setup.
that. I wasn't
Okay, I
talking
think
about
I
that.
think
I
First
was.
Lady trying to say I'm dark, y'all, because First Lady went out and personally purchased these powerful professional light, with the umbrella thing with the lights, and we got two of them shining on me. I guess First Lady say my baby is dark and folks can't see him. So you know what? And then I'm usually on top of this stuff, but she did this. She went out and bought these professional like photographic lights. Have you ever been to a studio where they take pictures and they have those big old giant bright lights with the umbrella thing? First Lady went out and bought two of them, actually three of them. I guess she said Pastor Will is kind of dark, and we wanted to make sure that everybody can see him. No, she did it because you can see her. So she didn't buy them for her. She clearly bought them for me, y'all.
It
Y'all know First
had
Lady did that, right?
it had nothing to do with that. That's called being a helpmeet. That
But you're
is,
not a photographer.
I'm
You're not a
not.
videographer.
But at the
So
same time,
so why did you think to get the lights? That's what I
I
want to know.
well, I
Inquiring
mean,
minds want to know.
I thought it was just better than having, just regular lights. And it did make a big difference. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
So we're learning,
Uh-huh.
we're growing. And the thing about it is that we're doing it together. We're learning together and we're growing together.
Who all we got on, baby?
So we have Janelle on. Welcome, Janelle. Tammy, welcome. Great to have you on this evening. Abigail, welcome and congratulations to you. She's newly engaged,
Oh,
and we're
y'all ain't messing
so
around at Victoria's Place. We just had
excited.
the class and now they engaged, baby.
They are newly engaged.
A-
She showed me her
Abigail,
ring, and it's
why is it
beautiful.
that First Lady has seen it and I have not seen it? I
Well,
thought I was the pastor the last time I checked. How you gonna get engaged and your spiritual father don't they ain't seen the ring yet? Bless y'all heart. God bless y'all. Y'all, I'm not always the last one to know. Anybody else want to announce their engagement? Go ahead and post it up there on Facebook so Pastor Will can know. Anybody else married, engaged? The First Lady, they booing up like crazy.
well,
I'm
I
seeing couples booing up. I ain't never seen booed up before, but they booed up now. Something going on. Something in the atmosphere. Something in the work. Listen, if y'all don't go to Victoria's Praise, you might want to come because something is in the atmosphere of Victoria's Praise. They getting married. They getting engaged. They getting rings. All kind of stuff. I got a wedding coming up real shortly. Maybe one or two in the month of August. And so things are happening, baby.
And it's exciting. It is exciting. It's all again when you find the person that God has for you to take this journey in life. It's a good thing, and it's even a better thing when you find yourself in an environment where you're learning. There are some singles that follow us religiously every Monday because they want to learn so that when their turn comes, they will have the knowledge they need to navigate. And I think that's wise, that's wisdom. And so, again, we encourage you to do that, especially in an environment like this, because it's non threatening. You can, log on, you can watch, you can learn, glean, and learn a lot. There's a lot of wisdom that is shared every Monday. So we want to thank you all for joining. There's some more people coming
I
on.
saw Charlene Mack pop
Welcome.
up on your phone. God bless you, darling.
Yes, welcome.
Who else we got? Melissa.
Welcome, Melissa. Let's see who else. Ebony, welcome. So we've got quite a few people that have logged on, and we're getting ready to start our conversation this evening.
So everybody just take one more 30 seconds. Everybody just hit the shares and the likes real quickly. Me and Dr. Grace just love to see that you all are out there. So I want to see a whole bunch of shares and likes for about 30 seconds. Everybody just bombarded. And we're going to build up our audience on tonight. If you know somebody that you think can benefit from this conversation, go ahead and share this to them, share it with them, share it on your own personal page. That'll help boost it as well. Um, and we're going to continue our discussion, Dr. Grace, on conflict, the 10 Commandments of Conflict Resolution. And I've come up with the terminology that we're going to use for our speaker listener talk. It's a level 1, level 2, and level 3 conversation.
Sounds
Level
good.
1, level 2, level 3. Thank you all. Go ahead, hit it some more, everybody. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. And we just want to thank you all. Everybody that's on, where you checking in from? What city are you repping on tonight? Me and Dr. Grace are here in Cary. And baby, I think even though you look like you're not moving, you are moving. But okay, yeah, I see you moving. Look like you was you get me scared, baby. I thought you was frozen again. You sit there so still. I thought you was frozen. But we should have a great connection tonight because I just spent some more money to get this internet repeater so that the internet streaming upstairs, Dr. Grace, is just as strong downstairs now. So
Yes.
we should not have any problems tonight, and if we do, y'all just know it's the devil. And so we just want to welcome you all. Thank you. I see Pastor Albright. Everybody, tell us what city you checking in from. What area? We're in the Cary area. Ebony, where's Ebony from, baby? Is she in? It's not.
Holly
It's not
Springs, I
Holly
think.
Springs.
Holly
God
Springs.
bless you all. Janelle, Melissa, where you all checking in from? We got anybody in Durham in the house? Where else? Chapel Hill. Where you all at? We want to have you all check in with us. And Dr. Grace, um, we we are going on a cruise next week. We're going to have a
Yes.
ball. And then we're going to do another one of our marriage engagements later on this fall. Because we had a really good response. I think it must have been about, I think, Dr. Grace, it had to be at least 60 or 70 that came out for our last marriage encounter that we had at the church 2 weeks ago. Tremendous
Yes.
discussion. It started out a few Quaverina, Charlene, God bless you, darling. Who else we got on? Where you all checking in from? Me and Dr. Grace are here in Cary. And if you know somebody that is having a challenge, First Lady, with conflict, having a challenge with communications, I forgot again to tell the couples that we are currently counseling to be on tonight because this stuff is valuable and you get it for free.
Yeah, but well, most of the times we do share that. So I'm sure that we've got some couples on. And
By the way, if you ever want to meet with me and Dr. Grace, it's real easy now. Just go to mymarriageuniversity.com, and at the bottom right hand corner, you'll see a link that says schedule to meet with us. You get to see our available slots, and you can just schedule it yourself. So if there's anybody that wants to have a session with me and Dr. Grace, it could be you and your spouse, it could be just you by yourself. Because I used to say we can't help you unless both of you are there, but now I feel like a half full glass is better than no glass. Half full glass. If you learn the information, you can take it back and help your spouse. So we encourage people, whether you're coming together or coming individually, to come in and talk with us because there's a lot of great knowledge and information that God has given us on this topic of marriage. So, Dr. Grace, um, can you real quickly take us through the 10 commandments of conflict resolution, and then we're going to dig into level 1, level 2, and level 3. So we won't be very long tonight because we've kind of talked this through. I just want to really get you all engaged in it. And before Dr. Grace go into those, so she's pulling that up. We've been asking you all different questions about communications and conflict, and a lot of great feedback and input that we've received from you all. Um, but just to kind of get the conversation going again, what are some of the topics that you all feel are important for couples to have a what we would call a heart-to-heart talk about? Last week y'all gave us some. I just want to go through that again. Everybody just kind of chime in, whether you are married, and a lot of times, First Lady, we encourage couples to come even before they get married because we don't want you to wait until after. I want you to get the knowledge. So even if you're
Absolutely.
dating, even if you are thinking about getting engaged, what are some of the important conversations that really require a heart to heart talk about? And so just start, y'all tell us some of those topics. Dr. Grace, finance is very important. And we're going to go
Yes.
back into finances probably, well, not next week, we're going to be on a cruise next week. But finance is a very important topic. It's one that has to constantly be talked about. Dr. Grace, me, you've been married for 32 years, and we still have to talk about finances.
Yeah, like again, that's something that it's an everyday thing. We're always spending, and then we're making decisions about different things, whether it is for the home or outside the home, or things that investments, business opportunities. There's so much. I mean, we're surrounded with money decisions every day. And it can start with the basics like, going grocery shopping, or it could start with, doing upgrades to the home. I mean, the home needs maintenance. There's so much. And so we're surrounded by money decisions every day.
We talk about it every week for a very good reason. And as we're talking, I want y'all to just start sending. I ain't seen nobody send nothing in. Tell us what are some of the real conversations that couples have to have a heart to heart, sit down, no distractions, talk about. We're talking about finance, but what are some of those other conversations that we need to have? Ben said finance. He also said intimacy. Very good. I like these. Retirement. What else, everybody? What are some? That's very important because Dr. Grace, you look up. You've been married for. You just got married. You look up, and you're like us. You're in your 50s. You're in the 30-something year of marriage, and before you know it, we're gonna be talking about what have we done for retirement.
Yeah.
But we was talking about financing, and financing is something that we have to talk about. It's not just something that you sit down and set up a budget at the beginning of the year. In order to be to stay on top of finances, we literally have to go over it at least once a week.
Absolutely.
We have what we call we already have our budget, which is vitally important. But me and Dr. Grace weekly go through what we call a cash flow statement. When the cash come in, we determine where it needs to flow. Because if you don't tell it where to go, it'll find its way out of your pocket on its own. I don't know why it does that or how it does that, but money just figures out how to get away from you without you telling it. So you have to assign it. Me and my wife sit down on a weekly basis, sometimes even more than that, to decide when I get paid, here's where the money's going. When she gets paid, because if we don't, Dr. Grace, we will have spent it and it'll be gone.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, again, that attributes to conversations. You're conversating about everything, not just the things that you have to. I see some more comments about disagreement with
Oh my
disciplining
God, children,
children.
and especially if you got a
Yes,
blended family and one of the children, you may be a step parent to the child,
yeah,
and how that makes baby. I remember one time you was spanking Crystal. Now Crystal is not a stepchild; she's my baby. She's my girl. And but she's first lady's child as well. And first lady was spanking her. I got kind of a little upset about that. And so you can imagine, Dr. Grace, if you spanking your child and it made me a little upset, imagine how I feel if you was spanking it and you was stepchild.
yeah,
So those are some serious issues
they are.
when it comes to dealing with children and discipline, and especially when you're talking about blended families and all those types of things. That's a very good point. Family issues. What about in-laws? Oh my God. Boy, that's a big struggle. In-laws, and these are all things that what me and Dr. Grace are talking about can help you all with that. What else you got, baby?
How to hold our children accountable. Again, parenting and parenting styles.
I love this. When
Um,
do you cut the cord from helping children? That's interesting because Dr. Grace, me and you kind of disagree a little bit. First Lady, I think she holds on a little bit longer than me, and you say it's a female male thing. I'm just like you grown, you're at the house. I'm still here, but I think me and my wife differ a little bit on that in terms of maybe it's our definition of cutting the cord.
Well, again, the and here's where the differences between males and females show up again. It shows up in different, stages. It shows up in different times. But
I'm ready to let him go.
for
Cut the cord.
the female is a nurturer, and you have to understand that a nurturer is a nurturer for life. It's not just a,
You got to cut it.
it's not something that
Still got to cut
you
it.
easily, want to, because once you're a nurturer, you're a nurturer.
But I thought I
And
cut that cord when the baby was born, though. Didn't I tie a little thing on there
it's a
and
lot
cut?
different than when you carry a child for
But I
nine
still, but
months.
what's that called? An umbilical cord? I think I cut that thing way back then when it was coming out. I think I cut
It's
it
a
then, baby.
difference. It's a big difference. And I'm
Okay,
sure
y'all,
there's
y'all
a
not
whole lot of
working with me.
scientific explanations for all of that attachment. There's an attachment theory,
All right.
that goes back to, yeah. So it goes
Somebody
deep.
said disagreements with in-laws. Very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
And you know what, Dr. Grace, I think would be a good topic, maybe even before we go back into finances, is to have people pro, give us some things that they would like to hear us talk about.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, not next week, but 2 weeks from now, Dr. Grace and I are going to come on. We're going to still be on conflict resolution, but we're going to talk about some of the topics that you all proposed to us
Yes.
in terms of the way we've dealt with and the way we handle it, and so on and so forth. So, that's going to be in 2 weeks. So, Dr. Grace, and somebody said disagreements with in-laws. Yeah, that's a big one. Children, parenting, that's another big one. So, real quick, baby, what are the 10 commandments of conflict resolution?
All right. So, commandment number one, thou shalt focus on one issue, not many issues.
The thing that me and Dr. Grace are going to be releasing, and if I think the link that we gave you all had free presentations, y'all keep that link because every time we present some new information, we're going to put it out there in that folder. And one of the things that we're going to be putting out there in the next week is what we call a level 1 and a level 2 conversation, and even a level 3. That's when you bring in a outside help or counselor or counselors like me and Dr. Grace. But the first one is what is called first commandment is talk about one issue. Our presentation sheets, level ones and stuff will really help you with that. All right.
Uh, Commandment number two, thou shalt watch your anger level.
It deals with the fact that you cannot resolve conflict when somebody's angry, when somebody's upset. The Bible says, be angry, but sin not. When you're angry, you are emotionally drunk and you will talk like you don't usually talk. You will behave like you don't usually behave. So don't try to drive while drunk. All right?
Commandment number three, thou shalt practice give and take communication.
This is what we're calling a speaker listener, a level 1 conversation, and a level 2 conversation. Level 1 conversation, Dr. Grace, is where only one person speaks, the other one listens. And what they say is just to repeat back what the first person said. We got a whole system for you on that, which I will be presenting in our free presentations folder with instructions on how to have a level 1. But the bottom line is it's important that you learn how to have a conversation where you zap the anger out. You take the anger away because you don't give room for, the Bible says, don't give room for the devil. He says, don't let the sun go down on you, neither give room for the devil. And this methodology of conversation takes the anger out. It doesn't give room for the devil.
Yes. Commandment number four, thou shalt attack the problem, not the person.
This is so vitally important because we tend to make our problems personal. We tend to take them personally. When Grace brings up stuff to me, I'll usually get offended. When I bring up stuff to her, she'll get offended. You know why? Because more than likely, we probably became defensive and took it personally. And secondarily, the person who presented it may have presented it personally. One of the things with a level one is we always tell baby people don't focus on a particular incident, focus on a general behavior.
Yes.
Because if I complain about something that my wife just did, it's going to become personal. If I focus on we have a problem in our marriage or in our home that surrounds this area or this issue, then it takes the personal out of it, and it's more attacking the problem. The problem isn't my wife did this. The problem is, as a family, we have this issue. But go ahead, baby. And even to be able to way to phrase it that way, so it doesn't seem and feel personal. All right.
Commandment number 5, thou shalt learn to ask for and give forgiveness.
Very important. It's a biblical concept. We are all here because Jesus asked God to forgive us, even though He did no wrong. And so when couples can learn how to just say, I'm sorry to each other, whether they feel like they've done something wrong or not, is irrelevant. What's relevant is an apology has been given. It breaks the ice, it breaks the tension, and we can move forward.
Commandment number 6, thou shalt seek a resolution both of you can live with.
And in our level one conversation, which we're going to be giving that information, giving you the instructions on how to have one effectively, one of the things that we talk about, Dr. Grace, is after you share with your mate what your concern is, your mate's responsibility is not to try to give you a solution to it right then, but to take it. Maybe you reschedule it 24 hours later, but to think about why my mate feels this way and what would be a good solution for my mate. To think about it from their perspective. And Dr. Grace, that would help because then we start to look for solutions that both of us can live with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Commandment number 7, thou shalt always keep your eye on the prize, stronger marriage, and becoming one flesh.
Remember when me and Dr. Grace first introduced this topic, one of the things that we said was conflict couples tend to want to avoid it after a while because all they do is argue and fight and they never resolve it. And so eventually you get to a point where one person becomes an avoider and the other person becomes an insister. The insister wants to talk about it right now. The avoider doesn't want to deal with it because they know it's going to lead into a bad argument. So we begin to look at conflict as a negative thing. But in reality, when handled properly, conflict is designed to strengthen the marriage. It's just that most people don't handle it properly because they don't know how to resolve their conflicts. That's what this is for. When it's resolved properly, we get a clear vision of our marriage. We get a emotional connection to our mate, and we get a deeper level of commitment with each other every time we resolve a particular conflict. When we don't resolve it, when we walk away, when we argue, when we fight, when we brush it under the rug, when we just stop talking because we're tired of fighting, it becomes a poison to the marriage. So it's either going to bless your marriage or it's going to curse your marriage. If you handle it right, conflict will bless your marriage. If you don't handle it right, it'll poison and curse your marriage and hurt it to the point that after a period of time, you almost don't even want to be married to the person anymore more because you can't resolve your conflicts. This is vitally important that we get this. Uh-huh.
Commandment number 8, thou shalt let unresolved conflict, thou shalt not let unresolved conflict poison your marriage.
And so that relates back to the previous one. Keep your eye on the prize. We're trying to build a stronger marriage. If we don't, it'll poison our marriage. Uh-huh.
Commandment number 9, thou shalt seek outside help together.
And
Thou shalt follow
oh no, go
the
back to number 9.
process.
Number do all right.
Shall follow all poison
To a point, race. Uh, um, all right. Can you all hear you when you were stirring up the cup? All right, here we go. Sorry about that again. Last week, but I didn't take care of the microphone, baby. So I think you all can hear me now. And so, all right, Dr. Grace. So the last thing we said was I was doing the coffee. So y'all, thank y'all for hanging in there with us, even though we was just talking. They couldn't even hear us. I'm glad somebody said something. That was my fault. I should have put the mic on and for I had it here, but it was working. But that's the second time the microphone went out halfway through the conversation. But we're back on. Thank you all for hanging in there with us, holding on with us, and so I think Dr. Grace, we ended when I was doing the coffee stirring, we were just finishing up the 10 Commandments. So read number 6 through 10 again.
So, commandment number 6, thou shalt seek a resolution both of you can live with. Commandment number 7, thou shalt always keep your eye on the prize, stronger marriage, one flesh. Commandment number 8, thou shalt not let unresolved conflict poison your marriage. Commandment number 9, thou shalt seek outside help together. And commandment number 10, thou shalt follow the process.
All right. Did people respond that they can hear us, baby?
I did see
Y'all can hear us, right? Ain't nobody saying
I
nothing.
saw
Y'all
some
holler at
hearts.
me.
I saw some hearts.
All right. Get the extra mic. That's the last thing I saw from Samuel. Scroll up and see if anybody else responded.
Yeah, Ashley said yes. She can hear.
All right. Thank you all. So now, in our close, let's talk about the process. The process. So, Dr. Grace, go to that last slide. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Charlene. So, Ephesians 4 and 26 and 27. Read that, baby.
And the message version of it goes, go ahead and be angry. Do not let you do well to be angry. Do not use your anger as fuel for revenge. And don't stay angry. Don't go to bed angry. Don't give the devil that kind of foothold in your life.
Now, I know that some of you probably did like me and my wife said we wouldn't go to bed angry with each other, but sometimes you get mad right at bedtime. Sometimes you might get mad in bed, and you certainly cannot, if you remember the commandments, resolve a conflict while you're angry. So the best way to translate that, don't go to bed angry, literally means don't let anger linger.
Yes.
Don't let it linger on and on and on and on. But the most important thing that I want you to get is be angry but sin not, which means say don't try to do stuff while you're angry. Don't try to resolve your conflict while you're angry. Don't try to have a conversation while you're mad. Don't try this process when someone is getting heated. Take a time out, shut it down, and then reschedule it. Which we're going to get into that in a minute in the process. So that's the first one. Don't let this stuff poison your marriage. Don't let anger destroy your marriage. Don't let conflict poison your marriage. The second part of the process, if you need to, seek outside help. Now, so keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. We're going to tell you 5 things that you got to do when it comes to conflict. Number 1, First Lady.
You have to control it. Don't let your conflict dictate your relationship.
You can get to a point where you are so angry and so bitter and have so many arguments and so many fights, and it will start to dictate the terms of your marriage. It'll dictate whether or not you're having sex or not. It will dictate whether you're communicating or not. It'll dictate, even if you're not careful, whether you are still in love with your mate, because you will start resenting each other because you've allowed your conflict to be in control of your marriage rather than your marriage to be in control of your conflict. So you got to stay in control. This includes anger, and this includes not resolving it. So that's number 1, control it.
Number 2, schedule it. Schedule times to resolve your conflict. And this goes back to, again, sometimes our conversations can become so heated that one person or both is just emotionally out of control, or emotionally overwhelmed. And so that might not be the best time for you to talk about it, because the more you talk about it, the more anger will rise and the more upset you'll become. So it makes a lot of sense to not, let your discussion overtake you, but that's where you control it. You say, okay, this is not a good time. I'm really starting to get upset right now. Can we talk about this tomorrow at 2 o'clock? Can we talk about this Friday at 7 o'clock? I mean, again, you know your schedule, you know what's going on, and make sure that when you schedule it, It's a time where you can sit with your spouse, give them undivided attention. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on. If you have children, make sure that they're not going to add to it, because if they're running around and you got to change Tommy's pamper and all this kind of stuff, it puts more stress on you. So again, try to find yourself in an environment where you can literally attempt to talk about it. Now, if you start talking about it and you get upset again, that means that you just had not allowed enough time for things to simmer. So it doesn't, you can reschedule it again until it's a good time for you all to talk it through.
Now, let me help you avoiders. Here's what I would suggest that you do. Now, what First Lady dealt with is scheduling or rescheduling when things get heated.
Yes.
I want you to schedule it when they're not heated as well. Meaning that, and we used to talk about this with some of our couples, Dr. Grace, we would tell them to set a certain time where you meet to have your discussions. It don't have to be that me and you are arguing or fighting. We just say, okay, on Friday nights or Saturday mornings, we sit down to have a family discussion. Now, if you schedule that ahead of time, you can go ahead and start filling in your level 1 sheet about the issues that you want to talk about. Now, I need y'all to hear me on this, because usually what happens with couples is, First Lady, they don't think to talk about their conflict until they're mad. But what did we just say? You can't talk about it when you're mad. So then all of a sudden you calm down. And when you calm down, guess what they don't do? They don't talk about it. Why? Because they ain't mad about it. Did you see that catch-22 that just happened there? Most people only want to talk about their problems when they get upset about it, which you shouldn't talk about it. But when they're not upset, they don't talk about it. So now you're in a conundrum. So you avoiders, the way to do this is, if you have to, set a time every week. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. So maybe you have your little, well, now y'all got the little iPhones now. So, but maybe what you could do is sit down and come up with 2 or 3 issues you like to have at your conversation. Set it up in a level 1 sheet, which we're coming out. But remember this. Don't try to have an issue conversation when something just made you mad. But when you're not mad, you typically don't talk about your issues, so that's why you got to schedule it ahead of time. Write it down and schedule it. I don't care if y'all just had some knockdown, drag out sex and everybody's feeling good. Still schedule it, because otherwise it's poisoning, even though you're not fighting about it. It's poisoning your marriage. So schedule it. Schedule that Saturdays at 9 o'clock in the morning when the kids are still asleep, we're going to have our conversation. Or Friday, whatever. Just like you have a date night, you should have a conversation night, or a resolution night, or a level 1 night. How about that? Level 1 night, a level 1 conversation night. I think that's a great idea, baby.
It is, because again, you're getting in the habit of talking. You're learning each other. The more you talk, the more you self-disclose, the more you talk about things, the more your spouse gets to understand who you are. And that in itself sometimes will eliminate problems, because your spouse will say, you know what, so-and-so, this is, what she's like. And she's better if we, work on this together. And so, you're also you're getting information, but you're getting to know who your spouse is, and you're getting in the habit of just having family night conversation. If your children see you doing that, likely when they get older and they get married, they're going to continue.
Well, it's certainly something that you're going to teach them. Absolutely. You're going to give them that principle, and hopefully you're teaching your children how to have conflict resolution conversations with each other if you got siblings, because nobody taught us this stuff. And it's a problem. No one taught us how to resolve conflict. Step number 3
is pause it. Reschedule it when it's not a good time to resolve the conflict.
Step number 4.
Stop it. Reschedule when it's not a good emotion to resolve the conflict. For example, anger.
And finally,
Discuss it. Continue to work conflicts until resolved or agree to disagree.
stay in control it, schedule it, pause it, stop it, and discuss it. That's it. That's the process. Use the 10 commandments of conflict resolution and do it in stages. A level one conversation, which is just one speaker and one listener, and the listener only parrots or repeats back to the.
We're frozen.
I think we're good though.
Okay.
Repeats back to the listener. At least I hope that we're good. I don't know why it paused. That's level one. Level two is now we're coming to resolve the conflict. And then finally, level three is if we need to bring an outside counselor in. So hopefully you all have been blessed by what me and Dr. Grace shared here today. I certainly have been blessed by it. So what we're going to do in 2 weeks, we won't be here next week because we're going to be on the ocean. We're going to the Bahamas to have a great time with a bunch of couples with our annual couples cruise. Those of you that are not coming, shame on you. But next year we're going to have something for you as well. I'm thinking, we'll talk about that later. But we're going to have a ball next year. And we're going to give you all plenty of time. So no excuses. Plenty of time to get your monies together for our event next year. But we're going to have a ball this year on our cruise. And in 2 weeks, Dr. Grace and I are going to share with you all. We're going to let you all drive the topics and how we would resolve these if we were counseling on that topic, how we would help you all through that process. So we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 topics. Depending on our time and how much time we have. So hopefully you've been blessed. Listen, go out to our website, mymarriageuniversity.com. Make a donation, purchase our book. This particular book, Dr. Grace, is from the Relationship Battle Plan. When you get that book, the 10 Commandments are in the, what do you call it? The workbook. And then, of course, you can always refer back here to me and Dr. Grace's presentation. So hopefully you've been blessed. We want to close with prayer. We'd love for you all to go out to our website, make a donation. Go to mymarriageuniversity.com. You've been blessed by what you've heard here today. Support me and Dr. Grace in what we're doing here. And I promise you, you will be blessed. Let's close in prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you and we praise you, Lord, for those that have tuned in, for those that will watch this later, that they will be blessed by what they hear. God, we can do nothing without you, but with you, with your words, with your power, with your anointing, we can do all things. So bless some couple, bless someone that's about to be married, to be blessed by what they've heard here today, to incorporate this in their homes and in their marriages. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Y'all be blessed. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks.